you have the official London choir and the doors of the Abbey will be opening, I'm told, on the stroke of 8:30 in a minute's time. Let's have a sense from you of what these guests are expecting. You've been talking to some of them. What are they thinking?
Well, I think pomp and pageantry, all of those things that are associated with the royal wedding. But I think possibly the most interesting thing about this is that it's quite unique. If you actually look at the seating plan, up in the transepts, up in those key places, are their friends sitting with prime ministers, sitting with diplomats, sitting with foreign members of the royal families. And I think that's quite remarkable. And I think the whole point is that William and Catherine have always, from the start, from the very day this was announced, wanted this to be their wedding. This is about their friends. And I suppose as heir apparent, Prince William is able to have that sort of a wedding. And I think they're very lucky and they're very unique to be able to do so.
Well, we're within seconds of the doors opening now. Very patient British queue there, Katie. I think we can all agree it's all...
absolutely. We do know how to queue, don't we?
Very well behaved. And just to let people know as well that very few of the seats are allocated. So lots of the people going in now will be looking for the best seats, won't they?
They will. I mean, it's typically British, isn't it, that we queue and first come, get the best seats. There are a few reserved seating, as you would expect, and the couple are quite adamant that some of their closest friends, the real inner circle, get to see everything that's going on. They don't want them to be hidden behind a pillar. But no, there's really no seating. Of course, you would expect that the foreign royals are seated right up the front. The British royal family, of course, will take order of precedence. I think one of the most interesting things is where the Middletons are sitting. Carol Middleton, of course, Kate's mother, is immediately opposite the Queen. And the Spencer family, of course, have been given great seats. They're going to be very much a part of this day, and I think that's important because, as you were saying earlier, you cannot get away from 1981. You will not be able to get away from Diana. She's being remembered in many ways in this service, not least the position of the Spencer family.
Well, indeed. These guests are waiting at this very grand entrance. This is the north door. Now, it's interesting to look at this because I'm always fascinated by the fact that it's a much grander entrance than the Great West Door, which is where the Queen and the couple will be entering into the Abbey later on. This is the Great North Door because that's the door where people are coming in, and we can see into the north transept there. That's where the guests will make their way in and down through the choir and into the nave. This Great North entrance used to be the royal entrance, and that is why it's so grand. So it's interesting to see that today it's used for tourists and it's used for most of the guests coming in. In this part of the north transept, we'll maybe get a better look later on, but it's Statesman's Corner, really. It's Statesman's Corner. Gladstone, Disraeli and Canning and Asquith, and memorial tablets and statues to them. The queue is on its way, Katie, so the patient wait has paid off.
It has, and we're already seeing some rather wonderful, colourful hats. I think this is going to be a day for the ladies to certainly outshine and not be put off by the weather. I think we're going to see lots of colour. Of course, the dress I just can't wait to see is Kate's dress, and this is the best kept secret of the wedding.
It's astonishing.
It's absolutely unbelievable. And you think how many leaks there have been over this wedding, that they've managed to keep so much information under wraps. And it was very important for Kate right from the start that she kept this a secret. And it will be the first glimpse that we all get of this dress when she steps out the goring. They've now erected some form of a tent over the entrance, so I think it will be the first sight when she steps out of that car with her father just before 11 o'clock at the Abbey, and what a sight that's going to be.
I should say Westminster Abbey has been transformed today. Just look at that, it is magnificent. There's the red carpet, obviously, but what we have is an avenue of trees, field maples, and they've been put there to line the nave. I'm told that in the Victorian language of flowers and trees, maples represent modesty and humility, and Kate has been very keen to bring in the language of nature, if you like, into this service. So you have an avenue of trees leading down to that choir screen, and then through that into the choir itself, and two hornbeams have been placed either side of the high altar, and they represent resilience and strength. So interesting that says something about the vows that they'll be making.
I think you're absolutely right, Hugh, and there is a lot of symbolism in this. The maple trees, which I think are going to be planted later on at Highgrove, which is rather special, actually. It'll always be a memento of their day, and I think, from what I understand, Kate had a very clear idea of what she wanted, and Shane Connolly, the royal florist, he's been very involved with creating a forest in the Abbey.
What does it tell us, all of this, about their relationship, their love story?
I think that this is an equal partnership, that this is something that grew out of a friendship and has blossomed into the most wonderful royal love story.
I mean, it's, you know, they've known each other for a decade.
They've known each other for a decade, and I think that's where this is going to be the most positive thing you can take out of this. They know each other, the best of each other, the worst of each other. There have been ups and downs, but they've come through this. And it was a university romance. William spotted this rather shy but terribly beautiful brunette. And of course, she caught his eye on that catwalk walking down in that now infamous dress. And this is them today. Absolutely stunning. Photographs taken by Mario Testino. This is the one that's going to be an official souvenir. Of course, Diana's favourite photographer. And again, in the black and white, you see a little bit of an echo to Diana in that. And Kate just looks stunning. And William looks so happy. They look so happy. I think they are so happy. And we wish them all the very best today.
We certainly do. And Katie, stay with us. We'll talk to you in a while. But thank you very much for joining
You're
us.
very welcome.
It's good to have you with us. Well, judging by all of the crowds already here, it's going to be a bumper turnout later when William and Kate appear and the processions take place. Throughout Britain, the latest poll suggesting that most people will follow at least part of the coverage, and they'll be joined by, well, it's a bit of a guess, but we think maybe up to 2 billion viewers around the world. We can't know for certain, but it's certainly going to be a huge number. Already having emails, I've mentioned them, from friends in the USA telling us that they'll be up in the middle of the night to watch it all on BBC America. Can I say to you specifically, a warm welcome to all of you. Countless wedding watching parties going on. It follows, of course, that the world's media is here in force as well, pointing cameras and microphones in every direction. Most of them, by the way, have set up their studios, well, next to ours, just next door, right opposite Buckingham Palace. As many as 10,000 foreign broadcasters, journalists in town, more than 200 television cameras along the route, up the Mall, down Whitehall into Parliament Square. It's the biggest outside broadcast of recent times.
5, 4.
Có một cấu đầu ở vùng